I love MMA. I absolutely love MMA. I love watching MMA. I love competing in MMA. I mean, it's not just a sport, it's a way of life. But there is some things which are great to me. But there are 10 reasons why MMA sucks. What's going on, fight fans? My name's Will Butler, aka the small angry little ginger kid.
And also, don't underestimate the small angry ginger man.
And there are 10 things that make me angry about MMA. But before we get into them, make sure if you like MMA content, then hit that subscribe button. And also, give us a thumbs up, because that might make me happy. Number 1, you're going to get punched in the face. It is inevitable. You cannot go through your entire career without getting punched at least once in the face. And believe it or not, when you first get punched in the face, it's almost a little bit cool, because it's like you realise you're not going to break, you're not made of glass, and you sort of like start to feel a bit invincible. But after time, it does grate on you, and you start to look like Quasimodo. So try to avoid getting punched in the face, but that is definitely number 1 reason why MMA sucks. Number 2. Now, as you people get to know me more and more, this is a massive pet hate of mine, but you can't eat what you want. I absolutely love my food, and I was very lucky when I was competing that I didn't have to cut any weight. I actually walked around at the smallest weight class there is for MMA at that time, and I didn't even have to cut any weight to make that weight class. I literally walked about on weight nearly all the time. And I struggled to put on weight, and I just didn't really lose any weight. I just always was really lucky at staying at a certain weight. And I must admit, I did pick out sometimes a little bit on things I shouldn't eat, but it weighed heavily on my conscience, and it was horrible. So, and I really do feel for the people who can't always eat what they want. So that is 100% going in the list at number 2, what sucks for MMA. Number 3. It's a little bit like number 1 in a certain way, but it's more, you're going to get injured. You cannot go through an MMA career, competing, you will get injured at some point. And obviously, getting injured sucks, one, because it hurts, obviously, but it just stops you doing your passion, it stops you from training. And it's just so frustrating, you can't compete, you can't train properly, and obviously injuries come at all different levels and like on how bad you could get injured, but you will at some point come across some minor injuries and probably some quite serious injuries what take a longer time to recover. I am going to be making plenty of videos on injuries and how to help try and avoid injuries, because I think it's really important and it's something I wish I'd paid more attention to when I was a bit younger. So getting injured is coming in at number 3 for a definite what sucks. Number 4, this one has hit me personally before quite a few times, and it's very frustrating, but you're always going to want to be better. I mean, there's always room to improve in MMA, and I think you know that, but there will be a time at some point during your training where you're going to feel disheartened, feel down, like sometimes you're not getting that self-worth that, I don't know how to put it, but yeah, it's just, you're always going to want to be better sometimes, like at a certain aspect, and your training's not going too well and you feel like you haven't improved. So that is something that it does suck about MMA, wanting to always try and be better than what you are. But it getting to you, letting it get to you, don't let it get to you. Number 5, you're going to have people judge you. When you turn around to people and tell them that you're a cage fighter, or you say you do MMA and they say, what's that then? So you basically say, I fight in a cage, you automatically get judged. Now, you get all different people judging you on different things. I mean, people judge people for all sorts of things, but I do feel like you automatically get put into you're a hooligan or a thug or something along them lines. Some people don't quite understand the sport, so you will get judged being an MMA fighter. And I actually had a weird one once where I got judged by someone who I thought I wouldn't have got sort of judged by. What I mean is, it was a tattooist. A tattooist, when I said I do MMA, he hit the roof and gave me this big lecture saying how it's stupid and it's brutalish and it's thuggish and it's just people fighting in the cage. You don't see the point of it. You just got to get brain damaged. And I thought to myself, for someone like who is covered in tattoos, and that can be quite judged. People who have tattoos all over them can be quite judged. So I thought someone coming from that background wouldn't be so judgmental. So it just goes to show that when you do MMA, people might judge you. So the best thing you could do is to try and educate people. Before I get on to number 6, if you're enjoying this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you hasn't subscribed yet and you want to see more videos, then make sure you subscribe, hit that bell notification, so then when I upload my videos, you'll be the first one to see them. So number 6. I don't know why I just went like that for number 6. I don't know what number that's meant to mean. But anyway, number 6 is sacrifice. If you want to take this sport seriously, like I said, it's not just a sport, it's a lifestyle. And it's true, just like not being able to eat what you want, that's a sacrifice. There's going to be times when you're going to want to go out with your mates, but you can't because you've got to go training. So you've got to sacrifice spending time with your mates. There's so many different sacrifices you have to make if you want to have a decent career, or even get to the level to compete and try and compete well, because you can't do this half-assed. At the end of the day, you are going in the cage and you are fighting someone, and there is a high risk of getting injured. So you have to make the sacrifices by not going out with your mates, getting drunk, so then you can't train the next day. Being watchful on what you eat. Not always being able to go out for family occasions because, again, you've got to training or you've got to travel because you've got to go compete. So there are lots of sacrifices. Money as well. It costs a lot of money to be training properly in MMA. So you might have to sacrifice things that you want to buy, nice things, because you've got to spend it on training, your diet, paying for training fees, private lessons. There's so many different sacrifices you can make, but the sacrifices can be very rewarding in the long run. So just bear that in mind. Number 7. Ooh, this is a bit more of a personal one for me, but it's training partners. Over the years of me training, I found it very hard to find good training partners. There are a lot of idiots who will do MMA and like training partners what will go too rough in sparring and things like that, and they're just going to end up injuring you, and obviously you don't want to get injured because you want to compete. So it's very hard to find good sparring partners, but training partners. And then when you do find good training partners, sometimes it's annoying because you can't always train with them. Could be under the reasons. But I just sometimes wish more people done MMA. Like I was saying earlier, I am a small bloke, and I was fighting at a very small weight class. So for me to find decent training partners, my sort of size, was very hard. So very frustrating for me. So this is a little bit more of a personal one to me, but number 7 training partners is definitely going on the list. Number 8, are you in the UFC? Oh, the amount of times I get asked that question, and I wish I could say I am, but I'm not. And it's very frustrating. I want to get in the UFC, but I'm just probably not quite good enough now. I'm getting too old. Sometimes I don't let me fight because of my eyesight. there's a number of reasons, but I'm not in the UFC. I do MMA cage fighting, but I always seem to get asked that question, is am I in the UFC? And there's the other flip side is, sadly, a lot of people are not going to get in the UFC who train and do MMA, who probably really, really want to and sacrifice and do all the right stuff. They still might not get there because they just might not be good enough, or there might be other reasons. So yeah, that does suck, having the UFC being such the ultimate dream and ultimate goal to get to, and a lot of MMA fighters won't get there, or they've got to explain to other people that no, they're not in the UFC, because when people hear MMA they automatically think of the UFC. But sorry, UFC's going on the list, but I still love you. I still love watching UFC. Number 9, almost at the end now. Number 9, the politics. I absolutely hate all the politics and drama what sometimes goes on with MMA and within the UFC, but you'll start to know it more as you start competing, or you already nodded at the screen going, yeah, politics suck for MMA, if you already know what I'm talking about. But when I was competing, it was so annoying because so-and-so wouldn't fight so-and-so, or so-and-so would avoid so-and-so, because like, I think just sometimes people should be obviously not made to fight like you have to fight, but if you want to be the best and you want to improve, you've got to fight these people. But sometimes coaches and organisations, they'll be like, no, you can't do this, or no, you can't do that, or they don't want you to fight that person. And yeah, politics absolutely sucks. Lucky enough, I don't think it's as bad as boxing. Sorry for any boxing fans out there, but I don't think the politics is as bad as boxing in MMA. But it's definitely getting worse, and as it gets more and more of a bigger sport, it probably will get that ever so slightly worse. Right, last and the least, last but not least, never quite understood that sign. Anyway, the last one, number 10. What absolutely sucks about MMA is you're going to lose. I'm sorry, but it's true. You are going to lose. I have lost, and I will still carry on losing when I'm training and competing, and so will you. Now you're probably saying to me, oh, well, what about people who have been undefeated in their career, like Khabib not going to knock your head off bloke, can't think of his name, can't say his last name rather, sorry Khabib Nurmagomedov. I swear that translates to I'm going to knock your head off. Anyway, yes, you might be saying Khabib, but Khabib never lost. But I guarantee he lost a lot in training. I guarantee he's been tapped out. If you're someone who absolutely like me and can't stand losing, then this might not be the sport for you, because you are going to get tapped out in training. You're going to have bad training days where you're going to get beaten up and lose in sparring. And it's extremely rare for an MMA fighter to go through their whole career without losing. So you are going to suffer a loss at some point when competing. You are going to suffer loads of losses in the gym, but when it comes to showtime, like I said, it's extremely rare, and hopefully I'm talking to someone who never loses, because that would be wicked that someone has actually watched my video who will get to that stage of being a world champion and never losing. But like I said, it's extremely rare to get that far. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it weren't too negative. I'm going to bring out another video with the 10 things what are great about UFC and MMA, MMA. So make sure you stay tuned to watch them.